Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to, of course, none other than your girl Cooking with Tammy. I know I've been missing in action for a hot minute, but anyway, I am back with another great recipe, something that I know you're going to fall in love with. So with all of that being said, guys, let's head on over to the kitchen and get to cooking. Today I'm going to show you how to make a delicious cheesy grilled shrimp fajita skillet. Woo! When I tell you this cheesy grilled shrimp fajita skillet is everything, not only is it great on presentation, but the taste is absolutely delicious. So with all of that being said, let's introduce these ingredients and get started. First throwing up, as you can see, is we have our jumbo-sized shrimp that's been washed, cleaned, pat dried, and ready to go. We also have our array of bell peppers. We have green, red, yellow, and orange. Not to mention we have our sliced onions in the house as well. We also have mushrooms, garlic cloves, oil. For this particular recipe, we're going to be using baby potatoes. However, you could definitely use regular potatoes if you want. We also have butter, heavy cream, mozzarella, Colby Jack, some cheddar, cream cheese, smoked paprika, along with regular paprika, Cajun seasoning, salt, black pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and I think that's it. However, if I forgot to mention anything, of course, we're going to mention it during the recipe. So with all of that being said, let's get to cooking. First thing we're going to do is we're going to get a pot, fill it up with some water, allow that water to come to a rolling boil, add a decent amount of salt because why? We need to make sure our potatoes are flavored from beginning to end. Add the potatoes as well, allow the potatoes to become fork tender. Next, we're going to saute our veggies, all right? So using a separate cast iron skillet, we're going to add a little oil along with our sliced veggies, our bell peppers, onions, and mushrooms. We're going to get those in the pan, get it going, toss it around a little bit, make sure everything is well combined. Right now, our veggies are really bland, so we're going to hit it off with some salt. Make sure you add enough, but don't add too much. We're also going to add some ground black pepper, a little hint of onion powder, garlic powder, along with a little bit of Cajun seasoning. After we add those seasonings, we're going to get in there one more time, toss it around just a bit. Make sure those seasonings are well distributed throughout the veggies. During the mixing process, I realized the veggies are a little bit dry. So I'm going to add a little bit more oil to this mix and continue tossing the veggies around. Allow them to saute and soften up just a bit. Now here's the thing. We want that nice crunchy element still left in our veggies. Even though we're sauteing them, we want to maintain that color vibrancy. So we're not going to saute them until they're like really limp, if that makes sense. We want to go in there and take those veggies out once they're nice and slightly softened. Take a good look. These veggies are beautiful. We're going to take it out of the pan, place it onto a plate, and set it aside. Using a separate skillet, we're going to add a small drizzle of oil, and we're going to add our garlic bulbs to the pan because as we pull this recipe together, we're going to be using these garlic bulbs right here, and it's really important that they're nice and toasted and roasted because it's going to have, trust me, the ultimate flavor. Once the garlic starts to brown, we're going to flip it on over on every single side. And not only is the garlic going to brown, but it's going to soften up as well. All right, garlic is done. We're going to turn the stovetop off, moving right along. Check those potatoes. Once they're fork tender, we're going to drain that water on off. Place the potatoes into a bowl. And it's time to get to mashing, all right? We're going to mash those potatoes on up. We're going to bring some life to these potatoes. So we're going to add some salt, garlic powder. We're also going to add our cream cheese, butter. Remember those roasted garlic bulbs that we roasted earlier? Well, we need to get those bulbs on out of the frying pan and onto the cutting board because we are going to get to chopping and dicing. And we're going to add it to our delicious mashed potatoes, all right? Get in there, mix it up really good. Make sure you get those garlicky bits all throughout the mashed potatoes because let me tell you, it's going to be so delicious. Just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we're going to add some heavy cream to these potatoes and we're going to combine everything perfectly. We're going to mix it on up. As you can see, we have the perfect texture and consistency going on. Garlic mashed potatoes are done. Moving right along, taking our nice clean shrimp. However, I left the tails on for presentation. We're going to hit it off with a drizzle of oil, followed by Cajun seasoning. Now, here's the thing. Cajun seasoning, depending on the brand, does contain salt. So be mindful of that when it comes to adding that Cajun seasoning. We're going to add our garlic powder, onion powder, and paprika. You can use smoked paprika or regular paprika, or use a combination of the two. For that color, you want to add a little bit more paprika. We're going to hit it off with some freshly cracked ground black pepper and a little pinch of salt, only if you didn't add a lot of Cajun seasoning. And we're going to get on in there and mix it up with our trusty fingers. Mix it up really good. Make sure you combine those seasonings throughout the shrimp. And once you do that, guess what? We're in business. In the meanwhile, I have my grill on the stovetop. We're going to add some oil to our skillet. We're rocking out with medium-high heat, just in case you're wondering. And we're going to take our perfectly seasoned shrimp and add it to the skillet one by one. Look at how gorgeous. You hear that sizzle right there? That's what I'm talking about. Allow the shrimp to grill on up. Once you look at the bottom of the shrimp and it starts to turn pink and it's no longer opaque, but instead it's starting to turn nice and pink, at that point in time, you're going to flip it on over and allow it to sear on the other side as well. And of course, the key to getting the perfect sear is whatever protein you're using, whether it be shrimp, chicken, or beef, it has to be pat dried. And your pan has to be smoking hot. When you add that oil, the oil has to come up to temperature and it has to be hot. That's the only way you're going to get the perfect sear. All right, we flipped it on over once again. And as you can see, we have the perfect grill marks going on. We're going to remove the shrimp from the stovetop and we're going to place it onto our wooden plank. Allow the shrimp to sit in the pan for just a second while we pull everything together. Using our Sizzler grill style pan, we're going to place it onto the stovetop. Allow the pan to get nice and hot. We're going to add our cheeses. We're going to add our mozzarella, Colby, and cheddar cheese. Now it's important that the flame is not too high because you don't want to burn your cheeses, because it's going to take us time to layer our food onto the skillet, of course. As you can see, our cheese is melting perfectly. We're going to take a big scoop of that delicious mashed potatoes. And we are going to sit it on top of this bed of melted cheese. Yes, we are. Just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we're going to take our perfectly seasoned, juicy shrimp. And we're going to lay it onto the cheese right next to our delicious garlicky mashed potatoes. Take your time, layer it. Because remember, when cooking with Tammy, it's all about that element of presentation. Don't go around serving people food that does not look great on presentation. I don't care if you got to go back in the kitchen and do it over, but do not serve food that's not great on presentation. It's all about that presentation, because keep in mind, we eat with our eyes before we even eat with our mouths, if that makes sense. So presentation first, followed by delicious flavor. Be sure to layer those shrimp. Don't be skimpy. Once we're done, we're going to go in there and get our perfectly seasoned fajita style veggies, and we're going to lay it down next to the shrimp as well. And your cheesy grilled shrimp fajita skillet should look just like this. All right. Now, here's the thing. The same pan that we grilled our shrimp in, and remember, we placed it to the side, reserving it for later. Well, guess what? All of the juices ran out of the shrimp as it was just sitting there. I want you to get that same pan, and you're going to pour that delicious saucy sauce that's still in the grill pan onto the potatoes, the shrimp, and the veggies. Yes, this is what you're gonna do. And once you're done, you're gonna make sure to secure this pan right here because it's really hot. Do not purchase this Sizzler style grill pan without the wooden plank. Take precaution. Precaution is everything. Once you're done, you're gonna take your pan, place it onto the wooden plank, and serve it on up and get to eating. And as always, I'm your girl cooking with Tammy, and I will definitely catch you in another video. Talk to you later. Bye, guys.